What's going on, it's JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. This series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it, and we are back in the big time. Leeds United have won our opening Premier League game against Everton. I am buzzing. Let me know what you guys think down below, and boy, there are so many mouth-watering updates today for us to dig our gnashes into, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action, and the first one is that if Leeds United are going to secure another winger to add on top to the quality that we already have in the squad, because we do need a couple of additions, we will have to pull the trigger on Manor Solomon very, very shortly, as Solomon is going to be released by Spurs in some manner, shape or form, no pun intended. And if Leeds United are preparing an offer which people believe there is a chance of, then we are going to have to move very, very quickly. And let me know quickly what you thought of Leeds' quality in the offensive areas yesterday. Are you happy with it, or are there certain positions I think you think that we are lacking in? Because I personally believe that there are a lot of issues, especially in our wide areas right now. Now, someone who could be solving some of those attacking worries that I may have is this man, Mr. Noah Okafor. And as per a Fabrizio Romano report, Noah Okafor to Leeds United. Here we go. Deal in place as revealed last night for a fee over £20 million to AC Milan. Okafor is set to sign a 4-year contract with an option for a further season. He is ready for a Premier League move after Daniel Farke's calls. A travel for a medical is scheduled within the next 24 hours. This is also being relayed by Florian Pettenberg. It is a done deal, and I'm sure you guys all know about this already. His medical is scheduled tomorrow, and the deal is set to be finalised very, very shortly. 4-year contract, potentially up to 5 years, and apparently Daniel Farke was instrumental in this deal happening. It was a personal request by Daniel Farke to get this guy into the door, and if Daniel Farke believes in him, I have to believe in him, because Daniel Farke, at the end of the day, I think he set us up beautifully yesterday. I think his substitutions are still completely bang off. Personally, I think he needs to address that issue very, very quickly. I still don't understand why Ramazani isn't getting game time. Aside from that, I think the way he set us up, the way we started to play, the way he's got the midfield cooking is very, very good. And maybe if he gets a couple of his attackers, people that fit into his mold, Okafor could be one of those guys. He's very versatile. He can play anywhere across the front line. And I think we should delve into what he can actually bring to Leeds United. Why did Daniel Farke seek this guy so hardly? Well, if you look at his stats over the past 356 days, he ranks in the first percentile for non-penalty goals per 90. He ranks in the 52nd percentile for non-penalty XG per 90. He ranks in the 59th percentile for shots total, assists. We know his numbers aren't the greatest, but granted, he is playing in the AC Milan setup in Serie A, so he is playing top-flight football. But all of his goal involvement percentiles aren't really great. I mean, his expected assists and goals are pretty decent at 73%. But if we just compare that over to Manor Solomon for his stats last season while we were in the Championship, I mean, he ranks in the 85th percentile for non-penalty goals for wingers, the 83rd percentile for non-penalty XG. He's actually overperforming his XG when it comes to goals. His assists ranks him in the 95th percentile. He's in the 99th percentile for expected assists. Expected assists plus expected goals, he's in the 98th percentile. 89th percentile for shot creating actions. I mean, the one part Noah Okafor is very, very good at, and which is very good and exciting for me, is his progressive carries, his successful take-ons. You see him ranked there in the 94th and 98th percentile respectively, and I think that is key for Leeds United, because what I see from Leeds is we look very controlled in the midfield. We're very good at stopping teams from breaking through us. Obviously, once they break through the midfield, when we're on the attack and the transitions, I think we do have a lot of issues. But in terms of controlling the ball, controlling a lot of the game with passive possession, I like to call it, we are very, very good at that, and our midfield is very stacked. However, our wingers in the wide areas are not breaking a men. You saw it yesterday. We had so much of the ball, but no actual quality to create or score goals. Why is that? Is because everything is stuck within our feet. We don't have anyone who's breaking the lines. We don't have players who are actually taking a gamble, taking a man on, which opens up extra space for Statch in the midfield. It opens up extra space for Nemetra, whoever might be playing up front for Leeds, whether it's Perot, Calvert-Lewin, or anyone else for that matter. It opens up space for everyone, and you saw it with our penalty. We won the ball high up the pitch. It went to Nemetra. We had a 2-on-2 situation, and it was one-touch football, not enough movement. You need someone there who's going to pick the ball up and just drive, which he's very good at. You have to say Manor Solomon was also pretty decent at that last year, as we all are aware of, ranking slightly lower in the percentile for take-ons and carries, though. But it must be said, you do have to take all of these stats and the comparison with a pinch of salt, because, of course, a lot of Manor Solomon stats, yes, they're being compared to everyone across Europe. They are championship stats where he is playing against lower level opposition. That is something that does have to be taken into account when you compare the two. But other than that, listen, overall, I want his goal output to increase massively if he is he is coming to Leeds. I would like his goal output to increase dramatically, because we do need goals coming from all around the pitch. However, I am enthusiastic with some of the qualities that he can bring, and I am starting to get myself a little bit more on board. I've been sipping too much haterade recently. I ain't here for the hate. At the end of the day, Leeds United have started off with a bang. We've got 3 points under our belt. We've got Arsenal coming up on the weekend. Let's build now. Let's move forward. Let's trust Vark. Let's trust everyone. Less haterade for me, more positive optimism. And speaking of positive optimism, Leeds United are not stopping there, because we are reportedly, quite close to triggering Christantus Uche's release clause at Getafe. This is coming out from various reports in Spain, saying that both Leeds United and Brentford are poised to make a move for Christantus Uche, who we were linked with a few weeks ago. There were stories about Leeds going in for him. Then it all became about El Caluse. Now that that's off the table, it seems Leeds United are going back in for Uche, who actually started off the season with a bang, with a goal and an assist. But this is where things get very, very interesting. Everyone I hear talking about him is talking about him playing in that number 10 role for Leeds, and we've gone through his overall positions. Now, his goal and assist yesterday actually came from the centre-forward position, which is where he actually plays most of his games for Getafe. He plays in that centre-forward role, which is slightly more advanced up the pitch. I don't think we're signing him to play him in that role, especially if we are still looking at other strikers, which we will get into in a little bit. For me, he would be signed to play in that second striker role, in that attacking midfield role, potentially in a similar position to which we saw Anton Stach deployed yesterday, because I was presuming the way it looked on my lineup is that Tanaka was going to be the more advanced player, but no, it was actually Tanaka and Ampadu dropping deeper and Anton Stach bursting forward with the lines. But then if you are going to bring someone in that number 10 role, now you have to start asking questions. What is going to happen to the formation? Is Ampadu going to be dropped? Because I thought Ampadu played really well. And then you're going to put Stach and Tanaka in that two-man midfield. In that case, you're going to be compromising some of Stach's attacking quality. And is that assured enough with a attacking midfielder who likes to drive forward a lot? It has to be said, in his overall career, Christantus Uche has actually played quite a few games in central midfield and defensive midfield. He's actually played more games in a registered defensive midfield position than he has in a central attacking midfield position. So if you are going to occupy that midfield three the way we had it, I think it could work, because he could still offer you some good defensive capabilities for a person in that area. And if we look at some of his stats, which could make this a very interesting move for Leeds United, look at some of his defensive stats. He's in the 91st percentile for tackles, the 88th percentile for interceptions, and the 79th percentile for blocks, and the 82nd for aerials won. Granted, this is comparing it against other strikers, not against midfielders. If you compare that to midfielders, he's going to be way lower down in those percentiles. But for someone that you want to create stuff going forward, it does allow us to also potentially allow Stach to still have the attacking involvement that he has had, and have Uche slightly drop a little bit to allow him to go forward. So tactically, I can see this making sense for Leeds United. However, he isn't necessarily that out-and-out number 10 that all of us have been craving. Now, speaking of craving, Leeds United are craving another striker. Yes, Nemetra scored a penalty yesterday on his 5th touch of the game in 6 minutes, but is he the answer for Leeds United in the long term? He's got injury concerns. He's not necessarily the most mobile of forwards. Is he going to be playing week in, week out, 90 minutes? No. Is Dominic Calvert-Lewin a guaranteed surefire option for Leeds United who's going to stay fit every single week? No. Is Joel Perreault the surefire option for Leeds United? Not proven in the Premier League. Leeds United are looking at Matthias Ablin. Caught Offside are reporting that Leeds United are leading the race to sign the Frenchman who scored 9 goals last year in Ligue 1. Per the report, Leeds and Nantes have begun negotiations, and sources close to the player say that he is open to a move. Wolves have also had their eye on the 22-year-old this summer, and it is reported that a potential fee could be in excess of £21.6 million. Who is Matisse Ablin? I hear you guys saying, well, these are some of his statistical breakdowns of last season. He played 27 games in the centre forward position, registering 9 goals and 2 assists. He played 8 times off the right wing, offering versatility, especially if we are going to play Calvert-Lewin and then Dan James has to drop out the side. We do need some extra cover in that right wing position, and this could be the man for that. You can see it's going to offer Leeds a lot of versatility. Okafor can play various positions across the front line. Abil can play various positions across the front line. Uche can play various positions across the middle of the pitch. So it does offer Leeds a lot of versatility going forward. Now, my only fear is that too much versatility? Do you not need someone who's just great at one thing? Now, the good thing is he is predominantly a striker. Yes, he's occupied in the right wing position. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 8 games, which really is not a shabby output, but he is predominantly a striker, and if we do look at some of his breakdowns compared to other forwards, progressive carries and take-ons are pretty decent. Again, defensively, he's got good clearance numbers, which could help Leeds set piece-wise, because we are bringing in a lot of tall players to help us with that. But his percentiles in terms of just pure shot-creating actions, shot-scoring actions, XG, XA, are not comparable to some of the other top strikers that we have been linked with throughout the summer. You look at your Dovbicks, you look at your Rodrigo Menezes, whose expected goals and assists per 90 were absolutely off the charts. He's not one of those guys. He's a good squad player. He's someone who's going to add quality, he's going to add strength and depth, but he's not that standout marquee signing. But the way that Leeds are moving now, and the way that I'm seeing Leeds move, we're not looking for a standout marquee signing. At least our transfer history over this summer would lead you to conclude that. We are looking for people who can play across the front line. We are looking to have a rotating squad, it would seem, because I think Calvert-Lewin is going to get a lot of game time. I think Perreault's going to get a lot of game time. I think Lemaitre is going to get a decent amount of game time. And I think this guy, if we sign him, will also get a decent amount of game time. But I think we're trying to have quite a lot of quality spread across because of our injury concerns, as opposed to just marquee players that are going to fill one position. I think that does leave you a little bit in trouble in terms of vying for real top places in Europe, for example, especially when you're playing people like Brendan Aronson in his unnatural position off the left wing, where I thought he couldn't impact the game. So there are caveats to this, there are negative aspects, but of course the positive aspect is it should help you guarantee survival, because no matter what injuries you have, you are going to have a plethora of very decent quality top flight players who can play across the front line, and this is another one who Leeds United are reportedly close to getting, so we'll keep you updated with anything that comes out of that one. Just finally, Taremi has been sent to train with the under-23s. He was, of course, linked with a move to Leeds United, but after signing Calvert-Lewin, I don't think we're going for another older, cheaper striker. We got Lemaitre on a cheap. We got Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free. If we are going to bring someone in, I think they're going to be of that younger mould of player who's going to develop and grow into something at Leeds United. I don't think we're going to be going for a 30-plus-year-old Mehdi Taremi anytime soon. But let me know what you guys think about all of these stories down in the comment section down below. How you're feeling about Leeds United. Are you feeling the rhythm, feeling the ride? Do you want to get on up like it's bobsleigh time? Please let me know down below. For now, though, I will see you very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.